2, 3. We want to welcome everybody today to Mom and Dad Talks. Our favorite two people are Mom and Dad. Hi, Mom and Dad.
Hi.
And we also have Hantie. Hantie. Good to see Hantie here today. 83.3 million in a defamation case. Trump is ordered to pay Carol. E. Carroll's lawyer asked the jury to award her at least 24 million in damages, but after deliberating for less than 3 hours, jurors went far beyond that moment. Trump vows to appeal the decision. The judge threatens to send Trump attorney Alina Abba, I think that's her name, to jail over interruptions.
Uh-oh.
This I don't even know where to begin with this one. Wow. I was blown away by this. Mom and Dad, what are your thoughts on this? Hantie, someone?
$83.3 million is a lot of money.
I'm speechless.
And that should be an indication of the guilt.
83?
Yeah, 83.3.
I thought you were saying 8.3.
83 point.
Yes.
Mm.
That is a lot.
They want to kill him. That's what it is.
That's right. Plus the $5.5 million from federal court.
Yeah.
That she's getting. So to me, no doubt now about his guilt.
My question here is, how long are they going to give him to come up and pay this out? Or is this he's going to drag his feet on coming up with it?
Well, I mean, he's going to appeal this to go down. The neck can be drug out a little.
Oh yeah, he's going to have to appeal.
What caught my attention was less than 3 hours after the beginning of deliberation, the jury in the second defamation case brought by E. Carroll, because less than 3 hours.
All right. So my question here is: did you say he's going to appeal it? He could take a lifetime to appeal it. So that figure really doesn't mean anything.
Well, the Trump lawyer Lena Abba counters that her client should not be held liable for threats made against Carroll by his supporters. So evidently, you know, this lady, wow, you know, is being attacked by his supporters. Or there's a lot of things you can wrap up into this. You know, like I said, according to the courts of law, something happened that wasn't against her will. And I just can't imagine what she has gone through by going through all this. You know what I'm saying? Being a lady and a female and being attacked or demonized after something bad happens to you. I just can't imagine that.
All right. So she's being threatened with other people that are that are for him. That ought to be against him he needs to hush up his supporters from doing that.
Well, in a unanimous verdict, the jury found that Trump owed Carroll 7.3 million compensatory damage, 11 million in order to repair her reputation, and 65 million in punitive damages.
Wow.
Last May, a jury found that Trump had sexually assaulted Carroll in 1996 and later defamed her in 2022 by denying her account of the incident and asserting Carroll had made the story up to sell books. That jury also awarded Carroll 5 million in damages. The trial centered around a statement Trump made in 2019 in which he asserted Carroll had made up the story of the assault in order to sell books, but Trump's frequent attacks on Carroll also helped contribute to the staggering figure the jury reached in punitive damage. Capital order that the identity of the jurors be kept secret throughout the trial, and he issued a warning to the jurors after the verdict was read. My advice to you is that you never disclose that you were on this jury, he said. So evidently the attacks were very severe on her, and the damages to her, were ongoing. And I mean, I can understand his, on social media, Trump said that he would appeal the decision. This is not America, he wrote of the verdict. Well, what I'm caught speechless on is that the civility has been lost in America.
Mhm.
That's right.
And so people want to go out and attack people, um, whether they worship them. I mean, this is a form of worship that looks like the people are doing, like, they're
Mhm.
standing up for Trump and they're gonna, threaten the lady's life. Really?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
You know, and there's like a double standard here.
Mhm.
When people of color say something is wrong, oh, the system is right. You're something's wrong with you. But then when it doesn't work in a favor or that outcome you want, now something's wrong with the system. But it's right for people of different brown and black, but it's not right for people in power.
Mm-hmm.
And it confuses me a lot of times. It's like, well, is it really working?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to get a more perfect union. We're not a perfect people. However, we're trying to be, in how we treat people fair, right? The Bible says you should not be respecter of persons. However, human beings want to respect people because you can get power and privilege by going along with someone who has, clout. Let's
Mhm.
just be real. We do it all the time at work, right? We go along with something because that person's in power, or we see something wrong and we just like, well, it'll be easier for me to let it go. I mean, I think there's a bigger thing in this to learn from is that, and I think we're scratching that. I mean, what are your thoughts on this? Because my mind is just going all over the place when I read more into this. It's just like, it gets more bizarre.
Yes, and I believe this, as far as I know, this is the first time in history that this has ever happened to an ex-president.
Mhm.
Aside from that, the large award
Mhm.
for something that is still denying to this day, there must have been something that convinced them, or made them, you know. I mean, it'd be easy to say that they were all Democrats on the jury.
Well, I don't think there were a whole bunch of black folk on this jury. I will say that.
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
don't think so. And I'm not saying that black folk are all Democrat either. What I'm saying
No,
is
and I wasn't spearheading a color of people. I was just saying,
mhm.
you know, there's 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 some white people that don't like Trump too. You
right.
know.
Well,
And I can say this was definitely not a racial issue.
He
no.
It
Mm-mm.
was a moral issue.
and if he had not had a bad track record on morality, that's
It probably wouldn't have shown up.
that's one thing.
That's right.
But let's go back to this Stormy Daniels thing, where
Mhm.
money was exchanged to keep her
Mhm.
quiet and pay her off. See,
30,000.
he has there's a trail that this man has and a record that he has.
Mhm.
So you can't fault the jury for being prejudiced against him because he made it new. He was in the news way before he became president. I mean, after with all this trailing him. What I'm saying is he has not had a good track record as far as keeping himself.
Yeah. Well,
And I did listen to his speech rally in one of the states where he called Joe Biden crooked Joe Biden.
mhm.
Now,
He got nerve.
what does he have to say now? Who's really crooked now?
Well, the Bible says that why look at the splinter or why would look at the splinter?
Splinter in someone else's
This
eye.
is like when you got a plank in your eye.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's easier to throw stones at people when you got problems yourself, and it's easier to attack folk to hoping that they won't look at your skeletons in your closet and stuff. And the whole point was is that he was already found guilty by a jury before this, and he was going back and forth with his lawyer. And look, it was already established that he sexually assaulted Miss Carroll, and I think it was by his own words that he was
Yes.
found by the jury
Have
at
you,
that point.
have you seen him admit anything that they say he has done that he said, I did it? Have you heard? I have not heard him admit anything that the courts or anybody else has said that he's done. Now that $130,000 that he paid about hush money, I think he denied that, and his name was on the check.
Yeah, well, well, I mean, the fact checkers have found out that his facts were, when he calls them alternative facts, we call lies, were not true.
Michael Cohen, I believe every word that he said, and he even had to spend 3 years in jail for taking a rap for that man.
Well, you know, and just for the sake of this discussion, let's just say Mr. Trump, you know, has some Alzheimer's going on. You know, he may forget.
Well, that's true.
And that may be an honest thing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, hey, you know, sometimes it comes back, sometimes it don't. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. I mean, you know, maybe this is something else going on there with our former president, President Trump.
Maybe he can go under hypnosis and they can bring it out and he'll admit that he did these things.
But even if he does have those windows that are closing, and you can call them Alzheimer's, at some point it opens up, right? It doesn't stay 24 hours closed.
You know,
does he lay awake at night and say, "Oh, what did I say?" Yeah. I mean, does he ever talk to himself?
Did I say that?
Well, yeah. There was one time where he questioned what he said, and they recorded and they played it back what he said, and it's like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm just saying, like I said, I'm not a, you know, I'm just saying, maybe he has some other things going on here.
Well, you know what? Make all the excuses you want. Honesty is the best policy, and what he needs to do is admit the things that he knows he did and quit denying it.
You know, but you know that's not how the world works.
Well, no, it's not how the world works. But I'm saying, when you know that you have done wrong and you continue to deny it, you know, there's really no hope for that person that says that.
You're right. You know, if Bill Clinton would have come out and said, "Yes, I had sex with the woman," they still would have voted. They voted for him anyway. But you know, just say, you know, I had. Okay, I mean, and you know, the Republicans got mad at him when he was trying to deny, oh, he's lying under oath and all this other stuff. But you know, according to Bill, Lord have mercy, the kind of contact he had with his woman, he didn't consider that sex. But that's a whole nother show in itself to talk about. All I can say, folks, is that this is unprecedented. I hope for Jean Carroll to get some kind of peace. It's hard to get peace in this kind of environment with everybody with the hate that's going on here and people just choosing sides and automatically categorizing people. It's very Nazi kind of scared kind of thing because you're taking our rights. What rights did we take away? I mean, we came in this country not having rights, still trying to fight for just equal rights. Just being honest with you. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I just want to go to the store and just buy something because I don't steal, I don't do that stuff, but because the color of my skin is automatically assumed, no matter if I wear a suit, whatever, that, oh, he's going to do something. And frankly, you know, I can't unblack myself. I mean, you know, some people try, but eventually they find out that they're black.
I'd like to give.
They always do.
I'd like to give a shout out to E. Jean Carroll that she is awfully brave for going through with what she has gone through, and then the world looking at what she's gone through, and still they don't want to give her credit for coming forth to say what happened to her. That's sad.
What's so sad is these jurors have to remain anonymous because his followers will call death threats on him.
Well,
They'll find out who they are. He has ways, you know.
Well, just like with the what was the dude that was in the car? Let's all get along. Back, man, you know, you know what I'm talking about, folks.
Yes, I do. In California.
From California. Can we all just get along after the protest? I mean, and that was Rodney King. Rodney King.
Mm-hmm.
And when I think about that, when the jurors went off, a lot of black folk were upset. So I'm just trying to get some trying to understand this. But when you got a guy who I don't know,
who lies about everything that they say he did, and he doesn't admit anything that he did. That's where I've got a problem. Now, people just don't just lie on you and lie on you and lie on you, and you're innocent.
And I think that's what makes it hard. Is that the fact is that there's a history of not telling the truth here, right. And it goes a lot.
And there's a very real possibility that he may have some mental problems.
Yeah, that's true.
He
has some mental problems because he does kind of get confused at times.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
they're going to put him in the White House back in November.
Well, get out there and vote, first of all, people. But as we get ready to close out here, we have any final thoughts on this?
My thought is that we're going to be facing some terrible times between now and November.
Well, let's just hope and pray that number one, God intervenes, and that people remain civil no matter what the outcome is in the election and stuff, and that for people that are doing wrong or want to do wrong, really be careful. God is not mocked. Whatever you sow, you shall reap. God is not mocked. So
$83 million is a lot of money for a stupid move.
Yeah.
That was just plain stupid.
And we're probably just touching the iceberg of stupid moves. Anyway, till next time, we will see you on Mom and Dad